Hello, everyone. My name is Pamela Karimi. I'm the director of the Office of Undergraduate Research. This is the third or fourth, I believe, in our information sessions, the Office of Undergraduate Information Session Series. And today we have the privilege of having librarian Judy Farrar, as well as professors Vijay and Ming, who have kindly agreed to join us today to give you some information about doing research during the summer, the benefits of summer research, as well as other opportunities that are available, particularly for this summer of 2022. But before I turn the platform to them, I want to take this opportunity to share with you a little bit of information about what we have for this summer. Can you all see the website of the undergraduate research that I just shared with you? Okay, very good, excellent. So as you all know, all you need to do is to go to the Office of Undergraduate Research, click on internal funding opportunities, and then it will take you to this page where all kinds of opportunities that are offered by the Office of Undergraduate Research are listed here. For this time of the year, you need to pay attention to the summer awards. And this summer, we have two different forms of awards. One of them is the regular one that we have been offering to students at UMass Dartmouth for a long time. And that can be used for all students from all different backgrounds. So it doesn't matter if you're engineering, art, literature, history, you can all use this one on the top, and you click on it and it will take you to the cover sheet as well as the guidelines that are necessary for the writing of this proposal. The second opportunity that has become available, particularly for this summer, is probably more beneficial to students in marketing and management, students in the College of Visual and Performing Arts, as well as the students in the humanities and social sciences. There are three sets of archival collections here on the campus of UMass Dartmouth Library. They are extremely valuable archival collections, the collection of Congressman Barney Frank, architect Paul Rudolph, as well as Howard Glasser archives of folk music. And so you can open up this file in which you can find information about these archives, as well as what kinds of tasks are required for each one of them, and also the methods of payment for the kind of work that you are going to be doing. As you have noticed, the summer awards are slightly different from the regular awards that we offer during the semester. And the difference is in the stipend form. So we can pay you as a student work study, as a student worker on the campus of UMass Dartmouth. So for your research, for the work and the hours that you put into your research projects, we will pay you. We can also pay you for your housing if that is needed. And we can also offer some funds towards the materials that you might need for your research projects. All of the details regarding to these funds are available on the guidelines of these two forms of awards that I've made available for you for this summer. We were also lucky that the library, the Cybersecurity Center, Honors College, College of Business, College of Arts and Sciences, as well as the CBPA and the Engineering College and the School of Marine Sciences have agreed to donate some money towards this summer. So we hope that we can have a good collection of opportunities for our outstanding applicants. Towards the end of this session, I will give you the opportunity to talk to us about any questions or concerns that you might have about these awards. But for now, I'd like to turn the platform to Vijay, perhaps, to talk to us a little bit about summer awards. Vijay, the platform is all yours.
Thank you. So my name is Vijay Chalivendra. I'm the faculty in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. I think Pamela asked me to talk about the REU site, which we recently got funded from NSF. Through this REU site, we would be hiring community college students, 10 of them, to stay here in the campus and conduct research for 10 weeks, starting from 6th of June to 15th of August. They will be staying here in the, they will be hosted by the faculty in their labs, and they conduct both experimental as well as any numerical research. But important, I think, aspect of working with OUR right now is we want to encourage interaction among these students with you, so that it's going to benefit both of you, where you share the research, so that I think it will definitely help to get exposure of what you are doing, what they are doing. That's the advantage of this program. I think we will be maybe having, I think I already spoke to College of Engineering research coordinator. He agreed upon to have a summer get-togethers on Wednesdays. So that will definitely help us to have some kind of a social gatherings to help you guys to interact with other students. I think that's what I have, Pamela. Anything else?
Oh, thank you so much, Vijay. So, Vijay, could you please, for some of our students who may not understand what the REU stands for, could you please tell us what it stands for?
Yeah, so REU stands for Research Experience for Undergraduate Students. This is typically given for undergraduate students of 4-year degree colleges, but the site we were funded basically is a site for community college students, because we see a lot of diversity in community college students, where a lot of underrepresented students going to college. So we wanted to promote their interest to either join 4-year degree or maybe go to industry with the research experience what they get from the campus here. Especially we want to really target to the area of marine science and marine technologies, what we have in this area, marine industries, so the students can actually expose to these projects, what we do here, to connect themselves to find jobs there if they want to pursue industry jobs. Otherwise, they can come here for 4-year degree, or maybe go somewhere else as well. There's no restriction to stay here. I'm actually these days trying to reach out students from pretty much all the way to Midwest. So it's going to be really a wide range of students coming to UMass Dartmouth.
Excellent. Vijay, so students, please pay attention to the fact that, so this summer we're going to have a very busy campus. These are students from other universities that are going to join our campus to do their research, and we're going to create opportunities for you to interact with these students and to work together if possible. So, you'll have a lot of interesting opportunities to observe the research projects of other students, maybe to interact with them, to talk to them and exchange ideas and information. So that's what makes this summer very unique. Vijay, before I turn the platform to Ming, I wanted to ask you, have you had any experiences with undergraduate students doing research with you during the summer? And can you just tell us very briefly, what are the benefits of that?
Great. So I have been here, I think, from 2005. I can say proudly myself that I have so many students in my lab working as undergraduate student research. I also can say proudly that I published maybe more than 20 articles, peer-reviewed articles with them, advising them. That's what really motivated me to pursue this opportunity of having a REU site at UMass Dartmouth to benefit community college students. So I think my understanding, if you are interested to do BSMS program, the best way to get into the program is start doing research when you are maybe on sophomore or junior. You can do that, talking to faculty, approaching faculty, and discussing with them, what kind of research, that's what you want to do, passionate about doing it. Most of the time, all the faculty have research websites. Just go there and look at what they do, have a meeting with them. You can maybe volunteer if you want to volunteer, maybe working with the grad students of these faculty. And then that's the best way to get into BSMS program, because most of the BSMS program, my students, they started their research as a sophomore student. And then I asked them to stay for BSMS program because I see a lot of potential in them to continue working on research. So I think my suggestion is, I think, there are a lot of opportunities if you want to pursue BSMS program, maybe beyond that, we never know, you may be interested in PhD as well after that, once you start loving research. So especially this OUR program and, other opportunities what we have in the campus will definitely help you to pursue research, research goals.
Excellent. Thank you so much, BJ. That was very helpful. Let me turn the platform to Ming now. Ming, could you please talk to us a little bit about this summer and also your experience with summer research?
Yeah, sure. My pleasure. Thank you for the invitation. Like VJ's case, this is our second year for the REU program. I mean, in the summer 2022, we have a very successful one in the 2021, even though that is a remote fashion and because of COVID. I think here I want to share some of information in the past year first, so that you can have an overall picture of what is the REU program. As Vijay mentioned, REU is for the research experience for the undergraduate students. This is funded by the National Science Foundation. So each students, usually we found 10 students, and each of them will have stipends for 10 weeks. In total, that is $6,000, and also plus the lodging and the meal. Because this is a remote, basically you can spend by yourself. This is actually a very good support to your research for 10 weeks. Usually we have this program from the middle of June to the August of June for 10 weeks. So last year we had about 73 applications, and among them we only have 10 selected. So they're from different universities across the country, for example, from Georgia Tech University, and also from our own campus, UMass Dartmouth. 3 students from computer information science, as well as ECE, the electronic engineering departments. They're very good candidates, and they show their performance in different research activities. Up until now, we have 3 papers published just based on this program in the research conferences, including one of the top tier conferences called ICRA for the robotics. So we're very proud of this program so far. So the opportunities here is, I think the REU program encourages a lot about the community collaboration. So if we can have a good collaboration with our program right here, for example, we can have some seminars or activities to discuss about the research among different groups, because ours REU focus more on the AI. So everybody know AI is a hot topic, like deep learning, artificial intelligence, and also cybersecurity is another hot topic. We can share our research experience, and also students from our research program can share theirs. So we can have more collaboration from that. And also this year, the application for this year has ended, but we encourage you, if you attend this year's OURS program, you are encouraged to try to apply, I mean, the REU program next year, for example, 2023, because each year we also hire some students from our campus, because we believe we know our students best. And also we trust you, and if you took one of our course before, that is even better. So that is a good opportunity. And also I can share a little bit more about what we have done in the past, I mean last year. So we're not only doing research project. For example, we have done some interesting project on the artificial intelligence. For example, we use deep learning to detect the anomaly or attack in signal processing. For example, that could be in the RF signal, that could be from the drone, the UAV or UUV, things like that. So we have the hardware, we have the algorithm, and we have professors. We have 6 mentors from 2 departments to support 9 different projects last year. So it's the research outcome is fruitful. This is only one part. The other thing is we give you the overall picture about what is research. For example, I can tell you what we delivered last year. Currently, I'm preparing the annual report for NSF, so I have a long list to report. I will just pick some of them. For example, we actually provide several lectures about research methods for science and engineering. So for example, we tell you what is overall research and the research process. And also we teach you how to identify research topics and problems, and how to do the literature search, review, and how to read research paper, because you really don't want to read word by word, but rather you want to have some quick scan at the beginning. You read the paper several times, 1, 2, and 3 to find your target. And also we tell you how to do the analysis, how to evaluate and present your data in a more scientific way. And the last one is you're gonna have a good opportunity to prepare and also present your research outcome. So basically, we have weekly report from the student, and also there are plenty of discussion between faculty, mentors, and the students for sure. And we have 2 formal presentation. One is midterm, the other is final. It's a big group presentations. So you can see that there are plenty of opportunities, not only for our RU student, but also for our program. I actually try to open this to everyone here. I mean, the candidates in our program too, because last year, whenever I deliver those things, it's only 10 students. But why not just open it to all the, students, undergraduate students who are interested in research on campus, right? So I can make it open whenever I deliver those courses. I think our students can join together. So this is a good opportunity to learn how to do the research here. And also if you plan, our program plan to deliver the research outcomes through the presentation, we can have a joint, final presentation together as a big group, so that we can learn better from each other. So things like that can be something we can do together in this summer. Let me see anything else. Okay, so here's some other impacts after the students join the RU program. I'm currently summarizing what we have done and what kind of other outcomes we have out of this one. For example, let me see. Okay, so the first thing is we actually encourage the students, especially RU students, to apply a master or graduate study or PhD degree after the senior year. For example, we have 10 students and 2 of them so far, because not all of them are senior students. Some of them are junior, some of them even are sophomore. So 2 senior students already applied the master program or PhD program, and 1 of them has been accepted. And all the mentors are very excited about this one, and they are eager to provide the reference letter during this process. So this is another, like additional benefits if you join the program like RU, or I believe it's the same for ours, right? So you're gonna provide the reference letter for your future application. Let me see anything else. And also we have plenty of PhD students and also the graduate students in our lab. For example, 6 faculty mentors here are actually very active in their research, and we have a lot of PhD students working during the summer. So we actually work as a team, not only by the faculty, but also by the PhD students. So you can get advice from both, faculty member and the PhD students, because they have plenty of hands-on experience. They're doing research experiments, they're writing code from time to time. So they know those things much better than faculty, but we can give you high-level guidance at the same time. So I think this is something not only for RU students, but also can be shared between 2 programs. If you're interested in our research program or any research projects, we can share those experiences with you too at the same time. Yeah, yeah, that's
Thank you
all.
so much, Ming. This was wonderful. I must say that we also have outstanding undergraduate students who have already been accepted into REU programs in other universities, other prestigious universities here in the region. For example, in the physics department alone, we have one candidate who's going to spend time at Harvard, and the other one, actually Victoria Balabanova, she's with us now. She has been accepted into the BU REU program. If there is a student here with us today who's not in the science or engineering fields, I'm sorry, this is something that is funded by the NSF. And this is mostly serving science and engineering students. But to now change the subject a little bit and to turn our attention to students who may be here with us or listen to this recording later on, who may be coming from social sciences, humanities, marketing and management, or the arts, I want to turn the platform to Judy, because Judy is going to talk to us about a very unique opportunity that we have this summer on this campus. Judy, please, the platform is all yours.
Okay, thanks. I'm in the archives right now. I'm here if anybody wants to talk about the projects. It's hard to sort of give a good idea of what the collections are about without showing items. So I can answer any questions if somebody's interested in a particular topic or they want to know more about what the actual work would be like physically. So the archives, just so you know, is located in the library, but we actually have our own entrance on the side of the library. And it's under the sign that says Ferreira Mendes Portuguese American Archives. I'm here pretty much all the time, Monday through Friday. So anytime you want to come in or just make an appointment. The projects that I chose, now I've been doing this for a while as far as, working with students on projects, because we've had work study students. I've been here for over 20 years and I've had work study students work for me every year, and some of them end up going into libraries or museums or archives. So they get interested in the work here because this is a really, especially if you're a history major or art history or political science. There's a lot of different majors that probably would be interested in this kind of work, but they can get very excited about working with primary sources, and that can stimulate, maybe thinking about a different career. So it's a good experience, and I can talk about one-on-one with somebody as far as what they're interested in doing and what kinds of things they might want to learn. So that said, the different collections have work that, the project could be finished over the summer. I have a lot of projects here that are very long-term, that are many, many boxes. For example, the Congressman Barney Frank's papers are over 400 boxes, and these are the types of boxes that they're in. And we had hired somebody for 2.5 years, a professional, to actually process it all. So that collection has been processed for the most part, and it's online, and I can share my screen real quick and just show you. So most of my collections are online in something called Archive Space, and you can find that through our library's website, and then you go to the archives and go to online finding aids. And so the Congressman Frank collection is here, and you can get an idea here of all the different types of files. It's organized by.
If you're trying to show us your screen, we actually cannot see it.
Oh, it's not being shown. Okay.
No.
Thought I hit this share screen. Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. I've really done this much. Okay. So it is from our library's website, and you go to the Archives and Special Collections section, and this is under, it's something called Archive Space, but it's the online finding aids, which are inventories of all of our collections. So you can get an idea of what types of records are here. It's organized by the Congresses, which is like 2 years. Congressman Frank's papers, he was a representative in Congress from 1980 to 2012, retired at the end of 2012. It gave us the papers around that time. And so his records span 5 different presidents. So they're very interesting. Get a different perspective of which president was in office. He started with Ronald Reagan and ended with Obama. And the specific project that I had suggested was a selection of radio programs that he did, and they're on like early, reel-to-reel tapes, but they've all been transferred. And at this point, they're included in this collection guide, except nobody can listen to them right now. If they come in, they can listen to them here if they ask me specifically, but I'd love to be able to have them available online where you could just click something from this guide and go to them. And so they were during Reagan's administration. And so the topics are things like, he talks about in 1981, Reagan considering budget proposals, why budget suddenly is so important. Some of his topics are the problems with Reagan's economic plan and housing effects in Massachusetts. There's a really wide range of subjects that are covered in his papers. There's other, so that would be, the project would be listening to these radio programs, figuring out what they're about, pulling out the specific information that somebody would need to see if that's something they would be interested in listening to. And what it is we call it metadata creation, so that we pull out the information and we have systems that we can plug it into so that you could, when you search, you can find, oh, there's a recording on housing, or there's a recording on civil rights, or Ronald Reagan or whatever. So if you want to get an idea what the collection's like, you can just kind of go through this and see, these are the actual topics, and each one of these are files. So it's a massive collection, but it's very interesting. It's got a lot of depth to it. There's also a possibility, given the time constraints, to digitize other items in the collection, specifically like things that I've identified that would be priorities. I mean, I can't digitize the entire collection. It's just 400 boxes times, it's millions of papers, but I've made certain selections that we could probably start with, and those the radio recordings are one, the press releases are another, because that gives you an idea of, what he did every year. So you can kind of get an idea time-wise, what was going on at the time. Also, Dear Colleague letters, which are letters they wrote to other colleagues, and other colleagues in Congress wrote to him about different issues, like please vote for this bill or whatever. So those are the two projects for that. For Howard Glasser's papers, and I don't have, let me see if I can, actually, let me do Rudolph, since I have it right here. The third project was on Paul Rudolph and his architecture. And at this time, since about 2006, we've been maintaining this website on Paul Rudolph's architecture. And specifically, it has, organized projects by state, UMass Dartmouth projects. And there's a lot, since it's been 2006, since this website has been overhauled, there's some problems with it, and it's going over to T4, which is one of the systems that we use here for, maintaining websites. And a lot of the links are broken. There's a lot of links to articles. So there's some bibliography work that needs to be done. So this is kind of like an art history project, really. Needs to have the links updated. Also, there's a lot of photographs included. It's by state here, but I could just go to any one of them. So there's a lot of scans of drawings and photographs of buildings, but they're not sourced as to where the original drawing is. So there's some of that work, if a student was interested in doing that, it'd be great to have that done. And it would be some real art history research, and you would get experience updating a website. I mean, there's just different possibilities. It would be, good experience, but it depends on someone's interest. And the third project is on Howard Glasser's Archives of Folk Music and Letter Arts, and I don't have anything to really show for that. So I will go stop share. Okay. That's a really interesting collection as far as there's hundreds and hundreds of tapes of recordings of folk gatherings. So if anyone's interested in music or just sort of, I don't know what different areas somebody would be drawn from for that, but it's, I have lots and lots of these. They've all been transferred as well. But that's only part of the work. You then have to, create the metadata so somebody can figure out what's on this and so they can get to it. So, bulk of our work is that, digitizing things is one thing, and then you have a lot of work that needs to be done afterwards. So for the right kind of student, it can be really interesting work. He was also an artist. He taught here for many years. His specialty was calligraphy, and he designed fonts, among other things. So part of his collection is the artwork, but I wouldn't really necessarily have anyone work on that. So it's kind of too massive, I think, for one summer. But so basically, yeah, if anybody has any questions, stop by or email me.
Well, thank you so much, Judith. This was amazing, and I thank you really for opening up this opportunity for our students. Let me emphasize that these archival collections that we have on the campus of UMass Dartmouth, we have specifically selected these 3 because we need work related to completing these archival collections, whether presenting them on the website or scanning them or processing them. We need some work. That's why we highlighted these 3, but we also are known for our Portuguese American archives. So these are nationally and internationally known collections. So if you work here, I guarantee that you would not waste your time. This is high quality work, high quality archival collection, and it gives you opportunities for all kinds of research. And specifically, Barney Frank, if there's anybody here or later watches this video who's interested in issues of gender, women, or queer studies, Barney Frank was very much interested and active in those areas as well. In terms of the arts, because I've also asked for artists to come to do this archival work and then produce a creative project. So as opposed to writing a paper, a research paper, which would be more appropriate for a historian or a social scientist, if you're an artist and want to make a creative project out of this work that you do, out of your involvement with the library, you're more than welcome to do that. If you're familiar with cutting edge art that is happening in this country right now, for example, in places like the Radcliffe Institute, we have an amazing artist who's now working with the collection at Harvard museums in order to produce some creative art projects based on the collection that is housed at Harvard. So, there are all kinds of things, all kinds of creative projects that you can create based on these factual pieces of information. So in other words, art doesn't have to be about romantic ideas or imagination. It can also be about important political and social issues in our time or in historical times. So on this note, I think that we've all done our job in terms of telling you more about what's happening this summer. So I want to open the platform for questions or feedback or any kinds of thoughts or ideas that you'd like to share with us at this time. Are there any questions?
I have a quick question.
Please.
So I'm not sure if it was already discussed. Unfortunately, I did have to come in probably like 2 minutes late. But I was wondering if it was mentioned, the amount of scholarships that you guys were giving out this year.
That's a very good question, Ashley. I unfortunately, that's a kind of information that I cannot reveal at this point because it really depends on the review process. We need to send out these applications to external reviewers. For each application, we have 2 faculty experts in your area or in areas close to you that will review your application. And if they think that there are not enough applications that deserve to get this scholarship, we may reduce the number of applicants and instead give them more money so that we can have some high quality research projects instead of spreading the money among many students. But both options are on the table. We just need to have access to the applications in order to be able to make a decision on that. And so I'm sorry, but at this point, I cannot tell you.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for your clarification on that.
No problem, Ashley. Christina has a question, please.
Yeah, I think it's very simple. It's just that I teach history majors, and I usually send them email messages about those opportunities. But it would be great if I could have maybe somebody talking to them in my classes, you know, and because even if I tell them it exists and show that it's, but 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something like this, I think it would be great for them to understand their opportunities on campus.
Absolutely, Christina. I'm happy to come to your class and talk to your students if that's something that you want me to do. But also, if you can encourage your students to just come to these information sessions, or even contact me directly if they need
Yeah,
more
this would be
information.
awesome. If you have, maybe if you have just a link or a sentence that I could kind of add to those messages so they can feel that they could have this interaction, would be easier for them maybe.
Absolutely. Christina, I thank you for all the work that you do, and that is definitely something that is very important to us. Christina, I'm going to put this in the chat. This is a link to the OUR Summer
Thank
Award
you.
website, and you can share it with the students. And, you know, Judith has helped me. Other faculty members have contributed to this, to these files, when we have tried our best to put as much information as possible. But if something is unclear, if there is more questions, please feel free to reach out to us. And I'm also happy to come to your class individually if that's something that is prepared. Thank you so much, Christina.
I just had a quick question for you.
Sure, go ahead, Stephanie.
I'm assuming that some of the research projects are done off campus. They're not all done on campus.
Well, by definition, the summer research project is something that has to be done in collaboration with your professor here on campus. But if you need to travel to some other places to complete that research, by all means, sometimes you may have to accompany your professor to some, like, oceans in California or some regions, someplace. That is definitely part of the process. But we have also had students who have been granted a summer award who wanted to do research abroad. For example, one of them went to Japan, and she was a photojournalist, and she wanted to do a photojournalistic project in one of the American bases in Okinawa, and we supported her part of her travel to that place. Yes, there is opportunity to use the fund for travel to important locations, whether it's a fieldwork location, a library, or a natural environment where you have to access for your biology project and things of that nature. But you need to articulate that very, very clearly in your budget as part of your proposal. Also, make sure that you discuss it with your faculty member, or contact me directly if you're not sure about something, and we can help you out in terms of making sure that that budget is something that is acceptable.
Okay, and then we would be getting assistance with the actual found information in order to make it like information that we can use to teach others. Like I wouldn't be doing all the research information myself, right? I would have assistance.
Stephanie, may I ask, what is your major?
Psychology.
Psychology.
And health and society.
I see. Well, you know, with psychology, you know, usually you need to, for example, you know, have some subjects that you study and things of that nature. Absolutely, you know, a lot of your colleagues ask for gift cards, for example, because you have a lot of participants in your research and you need to pay them back somehow. But you can't give them cash, but you can give them gift cards, for example. And that's something that is absolutely allowed as part of the office. In terms of assistant, that would be your main professor who will guide you in terms of your research. The only thing that is not accepted, Stephanie, is, for example, if you tell me I just want to go to Iceland and sit in a separate room and write a book. So give me money. And I ask you, why do you want to go to Iceland? And you say, just because it's beautiful, right? So that is not allowed. Or if you tell me, I want to buy this expensive computer because I need it for my research, and I say, no, you can't do that because all the items that you buy for the research this summer, they have to be perishable items. In other words, only used for your research, and after your research is done, you can throw them away, like the things that biologists actually usually buy. So in other words, you can't buy something that you can use for the next 10 years. Yeah, there are some restrictions in terms of how you can purchase things or how you can use this funding. But again, if there are more specific questions, Stephanie, feel free to reach out to me and I'm happy to explain further.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
No
Appreciate it.
problem.
Hi, I just had a quick question about the application itself. For like, I know you want like an itemized budget. Would there need to be like an explanation after that, like a budget justification, or as long as that's kind of explained in the methods, that would be okay?
Haley, that's a very good question. Sometimes, some things are just so routine that you don't need to explain them. Like biologists use these gloves in order to work in the lab, and everybody knows that. So you don't need to explain to me why you need those gloves. But sometimes there are certain items, certain things that you put in your little chart, in your budget chart, that actually are not very common. And in that case, I highly recommend explaining what these items are and in what ways are they useful to your research, and why you chose them.
Okay. And then thank you. And then just for the references, does the in-text citation need to be in a particular format or no? Okay. All right.
No, Haley, whatever format that works better for you, especially in terms of your discipline, some disciplines prefer a certain format and we are okay with that. Just make sure that you remain consistent. Okay. Consistency is very important.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem, Haley, and good luck. Any other questions?
I just had a quick question.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, so I was just recently looking at the summer award part of the website, and I was just curious on the part about housing. If we had needed housing to be here and do the research, how would that kind of be budgeted as far as the stipend as well? Would that come out of my stipend? Would that come out of the actual research grant itself? Where would that come from?
Right. Zach, that's a very good question. Housing on campus can be sometimes a little bit complicated. If you put that as part of your application, then it's my job to discuss it with the housing office, and collectively we make a decision about that for this summer. Okay. So all I can tell you at this point is that you don't worry about how we are going to take care of that. You just place your needs, go to the housing office, and they have listed, they're actually very organized. They have listed all of their ranges in terms of rooms and things like that. Just pick one of those categories that makes sense for the summer usage and put it as part of your budget. And then let us decide on the rest of it. In other words, there may be some complicated issues that we need to do behind the scenes, but we will take care of that. Your responsibility is to just highlight your needs and also an approximate range of that cost, the cost of housing, approximately, right? So I'm not saying it has to be accurate. All of it has to be extremely accurate, or else we're going to reject your budget and reject your proposal. No, just approximately, just give us a sense of how much it will be needed for you to stay on campus for a month or two or more.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem, Zach. Any other questions for myself, for Professor Vijay, or Professor Ming, or for Judith Farrar? We are here to answer your questions. If there are any more questions, please feel free. If there are no more questions, I would like to just conclude this session by saying that the Office of Undergraduate Research is here for you. We are here to help you, so please feel free to reach out to me. We also have a very active Instagram page on which I post all of the news, all of the information about our activities. Feel free to take advantage of that. I just put the Instagram handle in the chat box in case you're not following us. So we are trying to communicate with you via our website, which is constantly updated. There is our Instagram page, and also we are available here for you. If there is something for which I do not have an answer, please be sure that I will reach out to faculty members in your areas, and we will all collectively make sure that we have answered to all of your questions. So please feel free to reach out to me via email. Also, I wanted to tell you about the significance and the importance of research. As you know, the world is getting more and more competitive. So when you're here at UMass Dartmouth, please take advantage of these opportunities that are available to you. Participate in research, do something unique, do something groundbreaking so that you can stand out. Okay? Very good, very good. So on this note, I'm going to conclude this session, and I thank everyone for joining us. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Thank you so much, Vijay. Thank you so much, Ming. Thank you so much, Judy, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a nice day.
You too.
Thank you.